welcome. Whoa. There we go. Welcome, one and all, to the Astropub. How y'all doing? All right. All right, I gotta do this. Now, this is the first time I've set up this computer specifically because I had to reinstall everything. For those of you who don't know, I had problems. Doesn't matter. We're gonna be hopping in the PTU, but I'm gonna have to do an export real quick. So let me see. It's not a new rig. It's the same rig, guys. It's just this computer. There was a major issue that I had to fix, and it broke basically my PC, and I fixed it, and now it's working. But part of that process was to have to reinstall the entire computer. So. Go to game capture and figure this out real quick. Hold on. Let me quit the game real quick. Go to audio. Nope, we're gonna play through there. Okay. Okay. Let me check something real quick, chat. Pull up YouTube.
Grade my role or career into medium.
Yes, it fucking worked. Great. Launch it. That is why I just keep OS on partition 1 and all the data. And it was a this was something that was a fundamental issue with a lot of different things that I had to do a quick clean reinstall to fix it in the first place. The thing is that I actually don't have a lot of, because I have two different, I have a PC, gaming PC and a streaming PC. My gaming PC is very basic. The only thing it has is access to my sticks, I've got a gaming mouse for it, and then I've got access to my whatever this is called, keyboard. Everything else is on my gaming PC. So, and technically also has my Tobii eye tracker, but my Tobii eye tracker isn't set up and it doesn't work well. So, I talked to the Beam guys; they do this stuff. So, and I could set up my my headset if I wanted to, my Rift. I don't know if I will. So it's not that much of an issue. There's not that much of a not that the Rift is bad, y'all. It's just that I need a better headset. Audio. I can do combat music, yes. Huh. Oh yeah, I gotta do some stuff. Audio-driven stuff. Game settings. Gotta go all the way to the bottom. Nope. 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 Come on, field of view. Motion blur, no. Chromatic aberration, no. Film grain, no. Oh yeah, I just need to figure out what the export controls are. Okay. Turn that off. There we go. Create and export. All right. Options, controls. Key bindings. Advanced control customization. Control settings as main one. Save. All right. Back. Quit game. Yes. I'm going to PTU update game. Update. Yeah, I gotta turn all that off. That's gonna get annoying. Okay, let's try it again. Woo! Fixed it. Okay. Well, shit, that's a big update. 50 gigs? Hey, Munster. What IEMs use? These are just cheap IEMs. I don't even remember the name of them. Apparently, they're the KZ ZS10 Pro. Kappa Zulu dash Zulu Sierra 10 Pro. Hey, Nathan Forster. Yeah, I want to go to the Defensecon floor and kind of take a look at it. The meta fixed the Hornet in what way? Your ears always hurt after maybe an hour. Maybe my ears are just so fucked up that it doesn't matter. But like these feel fine because they have those sort of like the curves. Hey, nice that I can finally catch a live stream again. Well, I apologize. In the recent days, I've been like I took basically the first week of May off because I was sick, and then I got all these problems, these technical problems that hit me. But Hornet Mark II nose was locked. Could not add a turret. Oh, okay, so you fix that. Long time no see. Hey, Knowledge, how you doing, bud? Yeah, I didn't play on Friday because Loken was out, and I used that time to record audio for another lore video that I'm still need to finish editing. It'll be out this weekend. Like it's at the point where it's gonna be done. I'm not gonna be streaming on Sunday either because it's Mother's Day. Oh yeah, I can also make a copy of that. Do. Also, look this up. Star Citizen, how to fix. All right, I'm gonna fuck around and see if I can't find the actual profiles, maybe. No. Is it under game? No, that's not it. I'm gonna have the return of the blurs because I didn't have that properly. I'm trying to figure out where. Does anyone remember where they did that? Someone pointed me to that specific fix that someone posted in the issue council, where someone had talked about like the blurry edges for AMD drivers, and someone said, "Hey, this is how you fix it." I know the actual fix. I just got to get to the screen where I can actually change the resolution manually. Perseus is apparently for sale in game for 39 million AUEC. So the corner. So like one's over here in this corner, the other one's over here in this corner. Excuse me. Oh. Halls are closed. Damn. Well, I'll at least get to see the projection. Yes, it's to reduce the max resolution. The problem is, how do I get to like what's the actual file that I have to go to change the max resolution? Like, is it under tools? Is it under user? Is it under like? Like there's a config file, but I don't know which file to look at. No default. I think I found it. No, it's not it. Config for the resolutions. In game. That's the other thing I need to figure out. Where's the config file for the resolution in game? So user, client, 0, profiles, default, attributes. I mean, that's what I looked up on Google and it said. I'm gonna open up with Notepad, but it doesn't show the actual resolution value. I'm seeing like Tobii eye tracker, EA experimental, audio, film grain, head tracking. This looks like it's just doing the game settings rather than the graphic settings. Upscaling value. I see the width, but the width is weird. It says 250, 2560, which, and it doesn't seem right. This doesn't look like the one that I was seeing before when with the tutorial itself. Like the one that I looked at before that worked had like a specific piss poor Pete had like specific settings for different things. I just need Notepad++. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Thought I had Notepad++, but open with. No, I don't. Yeah, they were. Someone specifically came into my chat and told me about it. There it is. Height 1440. Where's width? 2560. That doesn't seem right. It's 2560. Okay. think it's 1438 I have to change. It's the height. 1438. Let's save that. Do the same for this. I haven't launched that, so it don't want to show up yet. Bro, did you prep the armor changes? The Idris is immune to almost all size 4 and lower guns. I mean, that makes sense. Or peep. No, I didn't. I mean, that makes sense. I gotta say, it was fun to hang out waiting for the Odin and sing for people. Are you singing for people, Alex? That's nice. Music again while we wait. It was the height that you had to change. Like if you change it to 1438, you make sure it's in borderless window mode, it'll fix the problem. I mean, there's a solution to dealing with the fact that Idris owners are basically immune to anything unless you have large weapons. But it's a solution that nobody fucking wants for some reason, and CIG seems to be absolutely against, which is you can't fucking fly the Idris solo. I love shit like that, Alex. Someone was dressed as Freddie Mercury, so I started singing some Queen songs, and people were like, wait, no, keep going. It's a gameplay solution, because if you force multiple people to be able to function with an Idris, even just 2, someone to turn on and maintain the power levels in the engineering room and someone to fly it, suddenly people won't be using them to just transport shit anymore. I like the convo in the Discord. Startup requiring multiple stations on larger ships. Yeah. Like, I think that triggering the quantum drive from the engineering room would make sense too. It's a good balance and it works like natively. Like, yeah, you can activate the warp drive in a Star Trek ship, but like, even in Star Trek, you're seeing like when you see one person piloting like a starship, they're like running around to different stations and manually tweaking things. Like, there should be some variance in multi-crew ships that require players to deal with those issues. Little late for that unless they want to start refunding. What do you mean refunding? When you paid for everything in the game, there was a sign that popped up that said, everything is subject to change, nothing is final. You understand that, right? And you hit yes. So there's no refunding at that point. People will melt Idris, no money from Idris. Well, CIG has to make a decision. Do they want a video game, or do they want a monetary, or do they want a storefront? And I get the money pays for the game, but at a certain point, you're gonna make more money selling Auroras than you're gonna sell Idrises. Was the Perseus is like 700, right? I think PDTs are fine. They're just the PDTs need to be better. They need to be nerfed when they're working on automatic, and they should be better when somebody is manually targeting them. I actually like to see the stat on that what ships has made the most money. I guarantee you it's the Cutlass. It's the Cutlass or it's the Aurora, because everyone buys an Aurora or a Mustang. I mean, manually managing them. Yeah. Somebody who's like that over there. Focus on that target. So that way they, like, as long as you are targeting that target, then the PDTs will focus on that target. $800 off War Bond. I think Tib will be cheaper than the Perseus then. Not by much though. The thing you got to remember, I'm gonna go get some medicine for my sneeze, but the thing you got to remember with the Tib is that if it's a size 10 laser beam, if it's just the Hurston Dynamics laser gun that was on the K kit, out of the K kit, then what you're gonna end up with, I think it's like a Devastator is what it's called. Then what you're gonna end up with is the same problem that the Idris size 10 beam has right now, is that it doesn't fucking kill anything. Because it's a damage over time weapon, you have to keep it on target. You have to, it's not gonna hit anything smaller than a large ship, and you have to like keep it on target. It doesn't, the beam doesn't last long enough to kill a large target. How much for Odin? 33.5K? 4K, easy. Or just round it up to 5K. It's a great weapon to strip armor, though. Yes, but then you still need to follow up. And while the Tib does have 4 size 7 guns, four size 7s, I think those are bespoke. Which means that it's going to have less punching power than the Perseus with its size 8s. But the people being like, it's so over for the Percy. It's like, no, the Percy is still a flying ship for what it's designed to do. The Tib is not going to replace the Percy in its role. They're designed to work in tandem. You have a Percy, you have a Tib open up with that gun to strip all the armor and punch holes through the ship, and then a Percy just casually flies up and blows the rest of it to pieces. That's CIG's design philosophy for large ships has been like this for years. Yeah, and there's no PDTs on the Tiburon, so you need either a Percy to cover the fighters with its PDTs, or a Hammerhead, or a some other ship to cover it as well. And none of them have like hangars. So ironically, I could see fleets with a Ironclad Assault to work as a mini carrier to help fight off fighters, Percy to cover some light fighter screens as well as big ships before it gets to the Tib, and the Tib hitting the larger ships with its beam as sort of like a DPS. We've really missed the DPS on that size. The subcap gunboat, there's been no DPS. And people will say it's the Percy. The Percy's designed to be a tank. It's designed to absorb incoming fire. It can hit like the left hand of God, like any tank can, but it's not designed to quickly disable or neutralize its targets. All right, I'm gonna go get some medicine so I don't sneeze as much. I've got about 21 gigs left and we'll get started. We'll hop into that. But as I'm gone, tell me your thoughts on the ships of Defensecon and Defensecon in general. Are you happy that the superior and altogether better Drake is now in charge of Invictus? Let me know. Be right back.
Drugs.
Weapons free, y'all.
Stand by for Titanfall.
Take away my spaceship. You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers. But you can never, ever take away my space game. Genesis!
Suck had this just resubscribed for 16 months.
Hello, I like money.
All right.
Mission complete.
Turn your fun button off.
Burrito I eat. There you go.
I'll do my best, but apparently the floor is closed, so. Kind of Ion and Inferno, yeah. I left my Drake hat. I'm gonna go get my Drake hat. As the self-proclaimed president of Drake Haters Anonymous, I'm so over this Drake Defensecon crap. Hello, JK. They did a really good job with all the ships. I love the fucking defense. The thing about Drake is that Drake is one of those companies that CIG has just fully... I think that the developers, like the designers of the ships and everybody who's involved with Star Citizen, like, in general, actually kind of understood what Drake was early on. So they actually built Drake as the lore was written for. And so we actually get a company that looks and acts like it's supposed to, and it fits, and everyone loves it. Hey, be right back. So Drake is a Swiss Army knife? Kind of, yeah.
Weapons free, y'all.
Hey, Mel, how you doing, bud? Last Raven, how you doing? We're gonna be doing a call-in show, by the way. For those of you who don't know what the call-in show is, I have a stage on Discord, on my Discord, !Discord if you want to get that. And you can join, and I will pull people up one at a time when we actually do the show. And it's just your thoughts on the topic. In this case, I want your thoughts on Defensecon. The changes this year, if you like or dislike it, the ships, all that kind of things. So Drake is a Star Citizen Swiss Army knife. It's hard to describe what Drake is, but I can tell you fundamentally that the point of Drake is to be anti-establishment and hyper-capitalist at the same time. It's supposed to be the ship that's for the people who aren't living in like the comfy bubble of the UEE or even in the generic peripheral of the UEE. It's supposed to be the ship that you rely on because it is cheap, it is efficient, and it is easy to maintain. You can get all the parts you need for it on the edge of nowhere because it costs 2 sticks of bubble gum and some duct tape to actually manufacture those parts, so they're fucking everywhere. Oh, so EV is going to start in about 2 hours from now. It's about 1 o'clock my time, and we started that at about 3 o'clock time, so about 2 hours. I'd rather not have to keep a tetanus shots up to board and work on my ships. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, for those of you who lived in the country, and I think this is just pretty much generic anywhere in the world, it's a work truck. Drake makes work trucks. Trucks you drive around the farm, you drive around an establishment. It never leaves the fucking farm or the work site. You just get it from point A to point B. And it's beat to hell. Half the things are missing on it. It doesn't have anything because it was made in 1986. It doesn't have any like accoutrement that you're used to for modern cars. But it starts up, it runs, and it's very cheap to maintain. That's Drake. You got $7 in a bottle cap, you can get a Drake ship. You want a fucking anvil ship, you're gonna take out a second mortgage on your home. That's the sort of like mentality. No, not like the Cybertruck. Your father's truck, yeah. When all of you were young men, it was the 50s pickup trucks. And yes, I'm calling you all old, because I'm also old. Ages is like if Lockheed Martin started selling F-15s to the public. What? Base pack verification error? The fuck you mean base pack verification error? Never saw that before. Okay, now it's finished. So does it make Crusader Airbus if they decide to go to chuck guns on? Kinda, yeah. There's really, like, the problem that we have is that none of the manufacturers are one-to-one with, like, they're the same manufacturer. Like, for instance, to give you context, the B-2 Spirit bombers, the story of the B-2, and its predecessor, what was the thing that the flying wing in the World War II? The YB-49, the XB-35. The story of the XB-35/YB-49 flying also do the graphic settings rolling real quick. We'll let the optimizations happen. Well, no, I think the Horton 229 was well after the creation of the XB-35. The XB-35 was created, I believe, in 1935. No, it was 46. So they're around the same time. They started building in 1942, though. And I think the Horton wasn't built until the late 1940s. 1943. Are we talking about the prototype version? I'm seeing this, yeah, the early 30s, Horton bombers became interested in a flying wing configuration for gliders. In 1943, okay, yeah. However, the story of the YX-35 or the YB-35, that story and the developer of it, CIG just stole for the Reliant. Literally, the story of the Reliant is the YB-45. It's like almost exactly. The Reliant was originally a bigger ship. It was the second runner-up to the Freelancer. So when MISC was trying to build the sort of like everyman ship that they were looking to build, they had two ships that came in. One was called the was Freelancer, and the other one was sort of like the really big wing or something like that. And it was like a Freelancer-sized Reliant. And while those designs existed, they did test it out. It didn't really work, and they decided to go with the Freelancer because they were using Xi'an technologies. So when they went to go build the Reliant after the fact, they found those old designs and then used those designs to create the Reliant. And when the Reliant first launched, they literally invited the developer of that experimental flying wing to the launch of the Reliant, just like they did with the launch of the B-2 Spirit. They invited the designer, Jack Northrop, the guy who founded Northrop, to the launch of the B-2 Spirit. I think it was made by Northrop, the B-2 is. Yeah, the New York bomber that they never built. I always like to point this out when it comes to like space travel as well. I'm waiting for the optimizing shaders and everything. We're gonna do one more little pass and we'll be done. There are multiple people responsible for modern rocket technology, and none of them lived in the same country. You had Konstantin Tsiolkovsky in the early 20th century, who sort of came up with a lot of the philosophy and theory behind rockets. You had Robert Goddard in the United States, who actually took a lot of those theories, plus modern evolutions of technology and things like fuel and propellants, and actually developed some of the first real functioning rockets modern rockets with nozzles and all the sorts of like the things we associate with rocketry. And then all of his experimental technology that he got, fucking Wernher von Braun actually took a lot of those ideas and then built his rockets. And at the same time, Korolev in the Soviet Union was doing something similar. It's basically like, at the same time, everyone was cribbing off of each other's notes because everyone could see what everyone else was doing, and they're like, that's a cool idea, let me do this and change that. All of this was happening in 50 years. Like, these people like knew of each other, they studied each other's works, even if they don't admit it, and they just sort of leapfrogged with each other over the time. Sergei Korolev, yeah. The only reason why Korolev isn't as celebrated as someone like von Braun, despite his literal psychopathy. Like, that man would do anything to get to space, even murder entire peoples, just because it was, what was his most famous quote? I keep aiming for the stars, but I keep hitting London. Fucking crazy bastard. Oh, fuck. is that because he pissed off Stalin and got caught in the purges. He got sent to fucking Siberia during World War II. No, I didn't add any custom user CFG file for that one. So yeah, I'm not saying that that the Hortons were geniuses. I'm just saying that Hortons and Jack Northrop had the same kind of brain disease that said big wing, lots of propeller, or jet and go. Clearly, it's a brain issue where like some people just have that in their brain to do those crazy things, regardless of where you are, and then you just make it. No rudder disease. Yeah, fuck rudders. Rudders are for bitches. I just want big wing. And to be fair, wings, even in early aviation history, big wings were seen as a great solution because you just get a fuck ton of lift off of that, and you get a lot more space because a lot of that fuselage you can use for fuel, but you can also use it for other things. So you have more spacious interiors, which in theory means you can carry heavier things if you have enough propeller power. Question, does the Drake Pitbull have a QT drive? Probably not, honestly. All right, I'm going to quit the game. I'm going to go through all of the files. I did change some of the config files so that I didn't have weird stuff, but all right. Any thoughts on the proposed Shiv external customizations, period cosmetic, or some effect on atmospheric flight, etc.? They said they're going to do external customizations. I read that Werner von Braun would have set to trial of crimes against humanity. He was awful. Like that dude was pure. I don't know why. Just gonna do hide for now. Be windowed. No. Let's try full screen. Maybe that'll still end up working. Oh shit! I forgot. Let me go download that real quick. Well, I won't bother for this. Random. There we go. That is me for now. All right. We're going to pick the Stanton system because we can. We're going to go to Area 18 because yes. Or let's not go to Area 18. Let's go with Lorville. Yeah, let's go with Lorville. And we'll fly there. Wizardly Telescope. Shivs has 4 Moby slots for customizations in Defensecon video. You can see the widgets in a possible spoiler ahead. A spoiler added. Oh. I think whatever they did with the Aurora Mark II is really broken open the what they can do like long term. Hey, Chaos. There's a great anime that if you're a fan of space flight, you should watch called Planetes. It's the Greek spelling of planets, but it's actually in Greek it means wanderers, and the story is literally about space garbage men. But each character has their own backstory. But one of the main thrusts and questions of the series is, how far do we go as a species? Why do we do what we do? Do we go no matter who or what's in charge? Do we keep pushing to the stars? No matter the cost, no matter the price? And what are the kind of people who do that? And do we want to follow those people? That's sort of what about the people who aren't directly benefiting from those advancements? The smaller countries, the poorer areas. It's basically a breakdown of like who benefits from.
Welcome to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
Let's go with.
Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Your vehicle has been replaced with
Planetes. Ostensibly, it's about space garbage guys. It's a crew that goes out and picks up space debris and either deorbits it or brings it back in to sell it. They work for a private company. They live in a space station. Their ship sucks. It's a shit box. It's like 4 generations old, but they're still using it because their company's cheap as fuck. And every company is supposed to legally, by law, have a space debris company, space debris division that picks up all the space debris because of an awful accident that involved space debris earlier in history. It's like 24 episodes too. It's a pretty long series, but it also has a it also is ostensibly, even though it's about space garbage men in space, it's also about romance. It's got a romance tucked into there. The other day you talked about Squadron, and I heard stuff from developers. I wanted to know what you heard about the story quality. Do they think we think it will be good? Every person I have talked to at CIG who works in Squadron, when they reference, I don't directly ask them. I just let them talk to me about what they were willing to talk to me about. Some of them have talked about the story, and they say it's fine. But there were some times that I kind of like, because I know the story because I've listened to the leak audio files. And so sometimes I'd bring up spoilers from the game, and they would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's changed. And then later they would be like, why did you know more than I do about the game that I'm working on? And I'm like, I don't know, I listened to the spoilers. So from my personal point of view, is that it's a fine story. The focus is not on the plot. There is a mystery element to the plot, but the plot is not the main focus. It's a serviceable plot. The focus is on the characters that you interact with. Got it. Planetes 2003 to 2004. Yeah, it's pretty good. Is there a hint system? Oh, hints, no. Control hints, no. Yes for now. All right. that one more time. Trims that. Seems off too. It's all set properly. Okay, I'm gonna have to set up. I thought this is when people go, you can import blah 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 blah, and I'm like, guys, this shit happens all the fucking time. Like it's. I tried setting this up earlier. Well, there's some things that are randomly assigned that don't seem to be swappable. Like even if I swap them, I've tried swapping them. I literally swapped them in the in the input, and it still didn't function properly. No, I know. I've done that. It still doesn't work. I've done that in the past. It still causes problems. Good. Quantum travel. do. I think that's pretty much it. No weapons. Oh, good. Okay, go back to the very top. Where's the cruise control? Okay, good. There we go. Well, no, it's just I had PTU actually saves all your configs when you update. It's just a matter of it's a matter of like I had a brand new. I had to reinstall the game entirely, so it swapped inputs on me, and then I tried to swap them back, and it swapped them back again. But some of them weren't like actual proper swaps. The HUD seems to be broken. There's no acceleration or anything like that. The super heavy armor or Titan suits, as Jared put it, a character you crawl into. Yep, we've known that for a bit. I haven't watched the latest Q&A. The Q&A from the from Chinese Bar Citizen, because yeah, if they did that and they confirmed that it's a character you crawl into, yeah, that's what an ATLS is, guys. Well, if you're looking for a good anime, I highly recommend Wisteria Wand and Sword. It's been an incredible watch so far. Interesting. See, my problem with anime is that there are two types of anime, in my experience, from my perspective, and as a watcher, as an media enjoyer, is there are really three types of anime. There's a type of anime that is the flavor of the week, month, year, the current trend, which is just somebody quickly wrote it up, or came up with it, put it in a movie, or put it as a novel or a manga, and it got eaten up because it had the right keywords. It had the right, it's the equivalent of a Mr. Beast video. Sometimes it can be really good, but it's just slop, and there's plenty of Mr. Beast clones that do the same thing, and I'm just like, I'm not really interested. Sometimes it's good to watch that garbage because sometimes it has interesting twists on the garbage, but it's garbage. It's slop. It's mass production. There's the kind that have good ideas that are original, but they're just like, they are too safe. Too safe. And it's like, you could have pushed it a little bit further, a bit better. And then there's like the really good ones that are like, oh, this is like same quality as I'd watch like a movie or television show, like live action. Right now it's isekai, but it's quickly becoming romance.
Markin42 just resubscribed for 50 months.
Thank you for that 50 months of support there, Markin. You're very important, Macron. Very important, very impressed, Mister. Very neat production. You rock. Shout some cheers in chat, y'all. Shout some cheers. I don't have a lot of time to watch anime or eat TV shows. Like, I haven't even seen much. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old, but a lot of the shit that I'm seeing on like streaming channels, I'm like, this isn't worth a damn thing. Do I have my... I do.
Landing gear up.
There's one that I'm interested in. I think it's like From. This is what it's called. It's a very like atmospheric, mystery-based horror where like a bunch of people trapped in a town and they can't get out. I know it's been canceled recently, but my wife talked about it. I was like, yeah, it's interesting. Also, am I the only one who's noticed that like titles of everything these days are either a paragraph long or one word? Like 1 to 3 words. It's either like From or the consequences of love and death when dealing with an ex-lover or something like that. It's like, what the fuck is this? Has it been canceled? I heard that season 4 is the last season. Is what I heard. Are we any more clear on the M50's loadout? 4 size 4s? We don't know. The guess is 4 size 4s or 2 size 2s and 2 size 5s. I don't know what the thing is. No, it's officially getting a 5th and final season. Ah, okay. Well, it's from the Lost pipeline, so it was always going to be a one-word name. Yeah, it's very Lost, is what I heard. And I enjoyed early Lost, so. But I mean, that's my point, is that it's like Maul, Shadow Lord, you know, The Bad Batch, or, you know, I must kill my boyfriend who is the archdemon of hell. Like, and it's like, normally it's like, oh, that's Japanese titles. Like, no, I'm seeing that shit in like Western titles too. It's like, it's either super punchy and short, or basically an essay is the title. I'm gonna sound like a snob, but what I've been doing more than watching TV shows or movies is reading books. Because like I can read on my time off, or I can I usually like buy the book and then I also get like the audiobook so that I can like read, and then when I get to a point where I can't read anymore, I pull open the audiobook at that point and listen to it and then go back to it. Yeah, those 1 to 3 words were always popular, but it just, for me, it's strange that it's like you don't have any sort of middling title, like 1 to 3 words, and then like a colon, and then like 4 or 5 words. You know, like, I guess this is gonna date me, but like Star Trek, The Next Generation, right? It's not really that's a sort of an old style. That feels like a very, ooh, wow. Come on, load in. There we go. All right. Well, before we land, we're gonna go here. I like how it's an object. Ooh. Well, the times of 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place are long gone. You either have a name that catches or explains the show. The problem I have with the explaining, like the 2-sentence to a paragraph long explanation for a show, is that a lot of times it doesn't actually explain the show. It explains the, like, it explains the premise a little bit, but it usually is completely undermined. As far as we know, yes, this holo is 1-to-1 scale. It's like reading the elevator pitch. It's the elevator pitch that their creators gave to... What? God damn it. It's restricted. Alright, well, I'm going to the roof anyways. What? Here's your blood money, you pieces of shit. Thank you, People's Alliance of Levski.
Everybody and his dog calls himself an outlaw.
Yes, there will be a lore tour during Defensecon. I have to get a good idea of what the floor looks like. I'm pretty sure it's the same as they have been doing, where it's just one floor. What's the lore on the strippers out front? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get money for college. Idiocracy. Do I look like I understand what a sex worker is doing when they're doing sex work? I don't know the mind of strippers. I'm not that powerful. He's married. All I know is that they have male and female go-go dancers, okay? So, or exotic dancers. So they're trying to appease to all sides because it's Drake. Yes, my weakness is I do not understand the mind of a sex worker. The strippers are out there proving that Drake is for the working men and women and the men and women that work it. They get in trouble many times for having booth babes. They love doing that shit. Love the advertisements. I like that they still have these fucking posters up. It's been 6 years, guys. I like that Drake has a DEI division. Drake doesn't understand the word DEI because their entire business concept is that the government should be destroyed, and that the people should have their own saying. So while they make as much money as possible. So the reason why they have male and female strippers has nothing to do with DEI and everything to do with making as much money as possible. Drake everywhere, imagine. Yes, that is the DEI for Drake.
Welcome to IO North Tower, Area 18's Premier Centre for Business Development. Please consult any of our associates for help or rental opportunities.
There is actually lore in the dancers. The first Defensecon, there was no female models, so the CIG used male models in skimpy clothing, loaded a cat, and obfuscated them in lore. It was a whole uproar over that. I don't remember that.
Welcome to IO North Tower, Area 18's Premier Centre for Business Development.
Paul, I had a thought next year. Invictus and Castra and Defensecon and Stanton. Yeah, I can do that. I think that could work. That would make sense. So yeah, so this is not just a missile turret. This is the Idris missile turret. They're literally using the same like setup as last year. Because remember, this was the Idris last year. Same thing here. So what I can tell you is that all of these guns retract away. So all of these guns fit into the geometry. So you can retract the guns into the hull, and then when you activate the guns, they'll activate and open the hull. There's a hammerhead. Yes, the Odin. This is the Odin. 2 scale as far as we know. These ones, they look like they're fixed too. CIG will probably change some of these as they go along, but a lot of these look like they're remote turrets. But the big guns are obviously man turrets. They do have guns on the bottom. Okay. Torpedoes! Torpedoes. How does it compare in size to a king ship? We don't know, but it's probably not as big as a Bengal, but it's close. So much goddamn firepower. It's anvil. Like, of course it is.
North Tower, Area 18's premier centre for business development. Please consult any of our associates for help or rental opportunities.
None of you have to worry about the Odin's guns, because the Odin's guns won't exist until after 1.0. There is no fucking way that the Odin is going to be released before 1.0. And it may be even several years after 1.0 that it actually releases. I'm fairly new. Is the Bengal bigger than a king ship? No, it's about half the size of a king ship. And a Bengal is 1,000 kilometers, it's like a kilometer long, it's 1,000 meters. I want to say that the Javelin is like 300. It's 480 meters long. I would say this is somewhere between 600 and 800 meters. Be my guess. Probably closer to 600, but it's deep. It's deep. It's got much more height. Like the Javelin's height is 72 meters. I would imagine that the this thing's probably double the like volume, the height of it, because of the top and the bottom. No, the Odin's not in development. It's in pre-production. And if it's true form of all battle cruisers from the past, the Odin will be a glass cannon. Well, yeah. That also leaves open for light cruisers and heavy cruisers as well. We have destroyers like the Javelin, but we don't have destroyer escorts. They could go with a lot of different like classifications and sizes if they really wanted to. But there is no. Yeah, just the lobby. Love it. Love it. Too many bearing weapons, though. No cast deck weapons. Where's your cast deck weapons? Drake.
Hey there.
Bravo. Bravo. No notes. No notes. I will be iron catting. You can't hear the claps when I'm not talking? That's good. I'm doing it, chat. I'm doing it. Come on, damn it. Work with me, camera.
Hey there.
CH's gonna get in some trouble for this. Someone's gonna complain. I'm posting this.
Hey. Hi.
I wouldn't call it in good tastes. I don't care. Yes, I do need to get that. Let me see if I can get that. They're over here. Oh no, they don't have them. I do have it. I'll get it later when we this is the same over here, right? Yeah. I have them on my own. I'll bring them in when I actually have those. Yeah, The famous one is from Crowder. Crowder is the one who did it first. This is in specifications for the Mercury. Joe, are you fucking here? Joe Freak was like putting those fucking it was Joe putting those. It wasn't Ghost. It was putting these around everywhere. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely within Drake's marketing, and also CIG's being funny. All Crusader stuff, interesting. Tumbrel, Consolidated Outline, Crusader, Misk, Defensecon, and Origin.
Are we getting by?
Hey.
Soldier, aren't you a little out of your element? Yeah, I imagine it was just assets they used for the last Defensecon or last what was it called? Invictus. We don't miss it. I think Invictus is good, but like Defensecon has always been better.
Now arriving.
I am a fanboy, which is why Defensecon is better. According to Drake, what is Crusader up the industries up these days? Not a goddamn clue. Apparently to Drake, it's just the brochures for the Mercury and the Hercules. Remember, you gotta say it properly. It's not Soul, Jared? You gonna give us the news flash?
It takes all of us working together to keep our corps safe.
It's Shadow Jared.
Be vigilant and report possible threats every time.
Shadow Council. Welcome back, Commander. The XCOM project has been reactivated. It's pronounced stall. That's how we apparently say it in the Star Citizen universe. We don't say soul, we say the Sol system. Better called the Sol system.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Well, I can scrap it.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us again.
It takes all of us working together to keep our corps safe and secure. And report possible threats.
Yeah, it's something CIG needs to work on. That makes the game so much more immersive, but I'm sure they'll focus on that when they actually start doing other videos other than just the news updates. Working on my my reps, chat. Not soul, it's Sol. Yes. I'm gonna stop off at the station, then we'll hang out and talk a little bit. Sol singer. At least we know what Sol music is like. Guitar Kid, we got that. It's it exists with the Plain Truth. It's just a Saul kind of feeling. The Saul train. Once we get to the Nick station, I'm gonna log out, and then we'll. I have to get the stuff set up for stuff, but good times on a route. Whew. Did you turn in your essay to the teacher, Paul? I am the teacher. I still got 2 weeks left. No, 3 weeks left, actually. Thoughts on the whole teleport to party leader kerfluffle? I don't know enough about it. Is this from the Q&A that they did? Coming to a Sowler system near you. Yes? It depends on the context of when it is. Like, the idea of being able to transport across an entire system without transportation seems dumb, but being able to do it in system, maybe. The problem is, the reality is, and this is something y'all need to, some of y'all who are younger don't remember, or younger, newer to the community don't remember, is that agent smithing is an idea that came about years ago, like when the game was first started, because they always knew that distance was going to be an issue. So they wanted a way for players to play with their friends, but not actively hurt the distance. So the problem with the idea of agent smithing was that you would take over the body of an NPC member, so that you would effectively, a player would not gain any rep or any benefits from playing as that NPC, but they could play with their friends. But there's not going to be NPC crew in 1.0, but they still want to have that sort of pick up and play sort of thing. So my guess is that if they do something like a teleport to party leader thing, it's going to be in a very specific location, like at stations. And you won't be teleporting your character to the location. You'll simply be existing in a temporary character that won't gain reputation or other things by participating. To bring back Mr. Smith, they've never stopped talking about that. Like, they've always, like, they brought it back. It was, the idea first was floated early, but that idea has been stuck in Star Citizen in the development since then. It's always been there. And the idea of it is effectively, we want players to be able to pick up and play with their friends without having to go long distances, but we don't want to break the game as a result, because then nobody will bother to transport, to fly around, because, you know, there's no point. Does base building not help with that? You also can spawn at the same point? Perhaps, but you still need to spawn, so you'll still need to die. Eventually, they're going to get rid of... I mean, they mentioned something around agent smithing like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, it wasn't... they mentioned it pretty recently. agent smithing should not be divorced from account reputation. Well, it should be tied to the person, whoever is the party leader. So if the party leader decides to fuck around with some people who are deciding to go off and do crazy shit and get negative reputation, which again, we don't know if it will even exist, then that should impact the party leader, not the players. They also don't get a benefit of that. Thank you, Citizen. I got that. It's the post clean shot IAE controversy. That would be IAE. That wasn't Defensecon. That was for the. They showed it off on the Galactic Tour or whatever. It was a Jax video that they showed it. I have an Aurora SC. Yes. My first thought was that 4 years ago being recent is wild. Then I remember joining 3 years ago. Well, because like there's some stuff that is like 13 years old that they mentioned that they haven't mentioned again. But there's some stuff that they've kept mentioning every 3 to 4 years because they just don't really, it doesn't really come up until they reach that point where like, oh yeah, this is what we plan on doing.
Quantum drive is now off.
What's your thoughts about a soft marketing launch for Squadron 2 at the end of Defensecon? I don't think you have anything. An announcement date is not a soft launch. That is a for marketing. That is a hard launch. But I also don't think that CIG is going to be doing a big advertising blitz campaign until they get closer to their actual release. I said for a long time that they should be doing a release at Defensecon, at the end of Defensecon, or like a date announcement. Or if they're going to announce it at some place like Summer Games Fest, then they need to do announcement of an announcement. So like, stay tuned for this time for an update on the game. So people know, oh, okay, so they're going to announce the release date there. But so it basically gets people on their radar to go, yes, I should be paying attention to this now because they're going to make an announcement about something. Does that make sense? I don't. So here's the thing. When you say I was expecting something from Squadron 42, but since they said no CitizenCon to focus on it, I doubt we'll get much. I just disagree. I think the reason why we're not getting a CitizenCon is because they're going to release Squadron at normally when we would have gotten CitizenCon. So the focus is for everyone is going to be on the marketing lead up and the other stuff that's going to be needed for that release. Hey, Death Trooper.
Fuel is at 100%.
No, it's not. It's not too close because it's before GTA 6.
Launch complete.
Ain't nobody gonna be playing GTA 6 a month before GTA 6 releases. As it gets leaked. That's possible. But you ain't playing it on a PS5. So you're locked in October this year? I'm pretty sure it's going to be October. It's either October this year or it's delayed. And there's nothing that has been telling me that it's delayed. from the developers themselves to all of the actions that CIG has taken, none of that is telling me, oh yeah, this is they're uncertain about 2026. I think your gut's wrong, Q-Pen. Now, we'll know more when we get closer to the summer. But then again, that could just be CIG being dumb. Because CIG could be absolutely stupid and basically try to just drop this with barely any information. They've said the only thing they're keeping an eye on is to avoid is GTA 6, and we know that GTA 6 is releasing in November. Early 27 would be a disaster because you'd still have to compete with GTA. You would still have all of the other people who had been delayed who've been basically saying I'm not going to release until after GTA 6 is released. They're all going to release it at the same time. So CIG would be competing with a bunch of other people who were all doing the same things, including people in their sort of bracket between the AA, AAA market. CIG should announce it at the end of Defensecon. I don't know if they will. And if they do sort of a tease for a date release, then it will go to, then it'll either be at Summer Games Fest or Gamescom. But if they wait until Gamescom to announce the date release, I think it's a mistake if it's releasing this year still. Do you see Tomato found a YouTube video from another streamer with CIG at a game show during a promo? Yes, that was Level Up Expo. We knew about that for a while. Hey, Hollis, how you doing? No, I don't think they're gonna drop it at Gamescom, guys. Do you think they have the funding for a marketing campaign? Yes, I think they have the funding for a marketing campaign. Now, by that I mean they're gonna have a blitz on YouTube, and they'll probably have some advertisements for some sites, but I doubt they're gonna pay for like a television ad spot or previews before movies and stuff like that.
Quantum fuel is at 75%.
Those sets of ads are. YouTube ads are not. Google AdSense is actually fairly cheap. And it's a far better use of the money than television ads because you can target to the specific people you want to target, and also nobody watches TV. So no citizen got to save money and put that money into marketing for 142. I think that's what they're looking at. Yes. But plus, by not having a CitizenCon or a CitizenCon Direct, it allows for the developers to focus on the last aspects that they need to do to fix for Squadron 42. Do you think the fleet is going to Sol has any significance? I don't know. I want to say yes, but I don't think it has any lore impact. Whew. And this is the problem about CIG just shutting the fuck up right now, is that it's gonna sow discontent inside their own fucking community, which they have. People are like, I think it's delayed because CIG hasn't said anything. And other people say, well, I'm afraid it's going to be impacted by GTA 6. By CIG being cautious, which is clearly what they're doing, they're making their fucking job harder. I'm telling you, it's October 6th. Now, we're not going to see a UEE collapse before the launch of the game, because the 1.0 game story is about the sort of shadow war between the UEE, or Sol and Terra, for the soul of for the soul of the UEE. Evolve person must happen. It will. Oh, it will. That's your birthday. You'll be 26 with 37 years of experience on that day. Congratulations. But it's also the birthday of Star Citizen. October 6th is when the funding began for Star Citizen and Squadron. It just so happens that also matches up with a Tuesday, and most games like to release on a Tuesday. So you've got a Tuesday, which is the early October, which is a perfect, which is an anniversary, and it is the perfect timing for them to release their game, which they've delayed for 13 years.
Landing complete. Engines offline.
I'm going to be very clear here as well, y'all. No matter what happens, unless Star Citizen makes $1 billion, or Squadron 42 makes $1 billion at its release, people will say that it's a failure of a game. Even though it doesn't have to make any money, it just has to be good and then continue to make money over a long period of time. CIG needs an Ace Combat 7, not a Call of Duty 4. Despite what people in the media will tell you, because CIG doesn't need Squadron to make all its money back at release, because that's not how it's developed. They just need to make enough money to continue development of Star Citizen, which they already are. They're going to have a record year this year in funding no matter what. And if it's good enough to continue sales, they don't have to continue to work on Squadron. They don't need a huge team to work on Squadron while it's out. It's done. It's passive income. They can have some people come in and do like bug fixes and, you know, that sort of thing. But it doesn't need to be super good at the game, or like win at the game. It needs AAA Halo sales. It doesn't. It doesn't need AAA Halo sales. It just has to perform. It just has to not suck. It has to be a 7 or 8 out of 10 game that people enjoy, so that keeps active and has, you know, people interested, so that when it goes on sale at some major Steam sale, then people will pick it up, and, you know, that sort of thing. I think it has to come out before GTA 6. I think coming out after is too much of a risk, because then you're playing dice with all the other people who've been trying to avoid GTA 6. Here's a quick question, Astro. Do you think CIG will ever move on to another project game while running Star Citizen? Of course. Do I think they'll do a multiplayer game? No. But they'll do Part 2 of Squadron 42 and Part 3 of Squadron 42. They'll do other single-player games. Like, CIG has confirmed, like Aaron Roberts has confirmed, that their plan is to do a new single-player experience in the universe of Star Citizen, or using the assets that they have, every 2 years or so. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a project the scale of Squadron. Like, they could easily take elements of like what they have with Star Citizen now and make a single player sort of experience with Star Citizen with a story added to it, you know, like a la Wing Commander Privateer, you know, Star Citizen Privateer or something like that. Yeah, they could do a mini version of the Tavarn War game, or yeah, just a cyberpunk game as the game in Area 18. It doesn't have to be like a huge sprawling epic story. It can be whatever they want to. And they've got a large team of talented developers, junior and seniors, who probably could do like a small mini game that's like a couple of hours long. Yeah, they could make a pirate-based open world game. Like a Black Flag, but in space. You know? Some kind of trilogy. They are going to be making a trilogy, yes. I'm not going to lie. I've always had this idea in the back of my head of a Star Citizen game set during the anti-Messer Revolution, where you play as a partisan, and it's like the slow journey of gathering allies and then overthrowing the Messers, with a nice like ending where you kill Linton Messer at the end. Yeah, I don't think LTI really is going to matter as much as people think it is. There are a lot of stories the lore could go off in the single player story that we don't see as a citizen. Exactly. Like CIG has a huge universe they've built where they could tell any kind of story they wanted to. And if they get a small team of like 30 people, even from like the Squadron team, to get them together and just say, hey, let's make a 5-hour experience and sell it for like $5, $10 on Steam, people would buy it if it's good enough. We kill him at the end? I mean, he dies. Like, Linton Messer's dead, guys. I hate to spoil the thing that happened in lore 150 years ago, but yeah, he's dead.
Take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away
Citizen Doc. Good to see you, bud. Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never,
ever
take away my space game.
Citizen_talk has subscribed.
Welcome, bud. Thank you so much for that subscription. You're very important, Papa. Very impressive. Pennsylvania pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. The key thing is, and I think a lot of people like doom about this, is that anything that CIG does in a single player experience will add to CIG A, existing, B, add to the total like stories that are being told in the verse, which will get more diverse people into it, and C, will add to Star Citizen. It'll either give them money, it'll give them pull, because more people will get involved. If they go, oh, a space pirate game? Fuck yeah, I'll play that. And then they go, you can be a space pirate in an MMO? Oh, maybe I'll try it. You know, that's not going to attract everyone, but it'll get people in who normally wouldn't even pay attention to it, because Star Citizen is this either A, complete boondoggle of a game that is like prepared or supported by a cult to some people, a potential game that nobody really understands what's going on, or a possibly good game that is held back by bugs and performance issues. Like, that's the typical like range that you see for most people. And of course, there's people like us who are crazy cultists who actually believe this game can succeed. But if you prove to them that the universe is interesting, that the developers can tell stories, that they can make fun gameplay, and then also prove that you have a multiplayer game version of it, it will attract people. It may not do it for everybody, And it may not be perfect, but it will add to the total. Do you think those Goliaths on the bottom and top of the Odin? I think they're probably Goliaths, yes. What about the alternate ending to the game where he's saved? How big is your personal fleet? Probably under 10 ships or under 25. Ships, it's not really that much. I do have a lot of vehicles because I love that kind of thing. So you got to understand a couple things. Number one, I do have ships which are basically stand-ins for other things, for things like giveaways and stuff like that. I have some that are just sort of mementos, and I have a lot of vehicles because I just like vehicles. So they're not really, you know, the most expensive vehicle I have is probably a Nova, which is like $100. But like I have a UTV, and I've got a bunch of paints for the UTV. I've got the Aurora Mark 1 SE. I have a Gladiator. I have an MTC. I have 2 Atlas Geos. I have an Atlas. I have a regular Atlas. I've got an MPUV tractor. And then I've got things like a Dragonfly, which is a referral bonus. I have a fall referral bonus for the MPUV, which I cross-chassied into an Ironclad. I have a Starlancer TAC. Then I have a Nova. And then I have an Arrow, but it's not my Arrow. It was given to me because I won a prize, or won a contest. I have a Freelancer Max, which has LTI, but it was again a prize that I won for a contest. I've got a Drake Corsair, and I've got a Bennu Merchantman LTI. I also have a
You can even take away my space lasers.
F8X, or not F8X, F8C, because of Gold Standard or other things like that.
Rubensaurus just resubscribed for 38 months.
Thank you so much to Rubensaurus for that 38 months of support. You're very important, pumper, very impressive, very pedestrian. This is probably good night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit.
Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No PPUs.
But you can never,
ever
take away my space game.
That robot guy 43 just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you so much for that 2 months of support. You're very important, pumper, very impressive, very pedestrian. This we probably drinking night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Ooh. I'm like gonna sneeze, but I don't know. We got a hype train going on. Who do you use to get this TTS voice? It's Streamlabs, I think. I can't remember which one it is. I have to look it up. Ugh. I don't remember what the name of the lady is. I know it's Indian English, Indian accent English. I did it in honor of Avasarala from The Expanse. I thought it was neat. Sid, you should give Astro the executive edition for Teamer. God. But I'm going through the rest of my hangar. I also have a exploration pack that I did a bunch of upgrades for. I've got another Dragonfly because it just came with it. Then I have a Mercury Star Runner, a Freelancer Miss, a Perseus, and a Starlancer Max. So like, in terms of ships, I have a lot. I also have a lot of vehicles. Like I have 2, I probably have as many vehicles as I have ships. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like a pack that also came with Squadron. And of course, I also got a pack which has the Redeemer in it. Because fuck you, Sea Daddy. But I was not, like, I didn't pay money for that. 1, 2... Of stuff I paid for. 1, 2, 3... Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nine, 10, 11, 12. So I have about 12 ships. 12 ships, which isn't including the F7A, which I have, which I think my Gladius referral got cross-chessing to that. So that's 13 ships. And then I also got a free 600i because I spent too much money on the game. And I also have a free F8 because I spent too much money on the game. Technically, I spent that money, but most of that money comes from not ships, but giveaways. And also, I have a subscription, which gives me access to, like, lore stuff, that kind of thing. Because, like, I have legitimately one... 2, 3. I have 3 ships I won or were given to me because fuck you, CIG. And in terms of land vehicles, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to 8. So yeah, I have like 13, 14 ships and 8 ground vehicles. I'm never gonna get a fucking Odin. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just there's no use for it. No, I'm not getting an Odin. A, I can't afford it, and B, I don't have any desire for one. It's not my style. The biggest ship I'm gonna have is a Banu Merchantman and an Ironclad Assault. Well, I guess the Perseus is actually pretty small, but yeah, Perseus. Well, like one of those dragonflies is that I have as a referral bonus, so I didn't even pay for it. It's like somebody else's stuff. They got a shit ton of subscriber flair. Hey, Darsh. You'll get an Odin. Good luck. I've got 54 ships and vehicles, yeah. I always like to talk about, when I talk about my my like hangar and like my fleet, there's always a few things I need to point out, which is one, I'm a content creator. So a lot of stuff I get is simply because I need to show off for content. And two, I also have a lot of things which are either given to me because I win a contest, or CIG gives them for a giveaway, or I get them for referral bonuses. So like that doesn't really add up to the total, but I also like been a subscriber to CIG for probably close to a decade now in terms of payments, and that's like $5 or I think it's like $10 a month. So I pay like $120 to CIG every month just because for access for things. Yeah, I saw the Sketchfab link, Darth. Thank you for showing it to me. It seems like many conversations with backers hangers turns into try to not cope with your purchase history. Well, the problem is that when you talk about your hanger, a lot of people will balk at it. Because like I can tell you exactly how much money I have. Where is that? I used to say it. It used to be some place where they would say specifically how much money you've spent. A pledge, I think. No. Pledge store. Hangar log? No. It's under account. Oh, billing, I think. Yeah, it's in billing. So, I have spent since 2013, so 13 years. 13 years as of August. $29,893.63. So about $30,000 over the course of 13 years. We do the breakdown of that. It's about 2.3 thousand average per year over the course of 13 years. And see, that's the thing. You say something like that and people go, holy shit, that's a lot of money. I'm a content creator. Most of that has gone to giveaways, not to my personal account. So most of that money is paid for by streaming. Exactly, yeah. Like total is like 20 vehicles and ships. 30K, but only that's the thing. Yeah. It's $200. That's $200 a month. Not bad for a hobby. That is the cost of like a starter box from Warhammer. There are people who spend that kind of money on like weekly or monthly on like $200 a month on like Pokemon cards or that kind of thing. And that's why it's always important to put that into context. It's like, this is a hobby. It's a hobby that I do content for, so I get paid for it a little bit. But that money mostly goes back into this. Thank you, Nefty. And I guarantee you, because you can also look up your Steam account and see how much money you've spent on Steam. You probably have spent a lot of money, more money than you realize on Steam. I don't want to. I guarantee you I've spent more money than that on this project. I have built like 4 different rigs, or probably more like 6 different rigs over the course of that 13 years, specifically to help myself with content creation. New microphones, cameras, lighting, peripherals like sticks and mats and keyboards, mice, monitors, all that stuff I've spent as well. Because gaming is a hobby, and it's going to cost you money. That's, I think, why people get a little bit iffy about like talking about their hangers, because when you look at the total amount of money you've spent, you can go, oh my God, I've spent so much money on this. And people will be like, haha, you spent, $20,000, $30,000 on this game. And it's like, brother, there are people who spend $30,000 like in 2 weekends at Vegas. This is like, when it comes down to it, you just kind of go, people have hobbies and they cost money. But your equipment can be used in different ways too. Yes, it's used for content creation, and it does also use for other things. But like, I build it for content creation, and the main thing I play is Star Citizen, so ends up being like that. Yeah. So that's why I don't think the conversation whenever people talk about like how much money they have or like the size of their hangars is a constructive one, because whenever I hear that, my first thought is someone's going to try to make fun of somebody for spending money on a game. And it's like, because it's easy to do without actually analyzing how much people do spend on other things. Yeah, we're adults and it's our own money. No one's putting a gun to our head. Hopefully you're not spending more than you can afford. There's a total. There used to be a total on where you could find the total amount of money you've spent on Steam. There's a number there. I've been back on DayZ lately, and I'll be honest, that game makes Star Citizen look downright stable by comparison, and that game's been fucking released for like 4 years now. And it's had multiple expansions. I still love DayZ. It's the game that got me back to playing PC games, but... Toes! Oh, we're getting raided? Why is my thing not working or something? It should be working. There it is.
You can take away my
No, it's not.
You can take away my
Tomato!
space suit.
Welcome everybody from Tomato
You
Stream.
can even take away my space lasers.
Anansi is going to get you to get me to dance.
Ever take away my space game.
M4Varric_69 just resubscribed for 13 months. Spaced 34 toes, spaced 34 gang, 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 spaced 34 raids, 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 spaced 34 raid.
You got off before then.
You can take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit.
Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No pews.
But you can never,
Never.
ever
Ever.
take away my space game.
Abrothana Medana just resubscribed for 32 months. Dance for me, lawman, dance.
Thank you so much, Anansi, for that 34 months. Was that 34 months? Never mind that. 32 months. You're very important, Pepper. Very impressive, sir. Very new pedestrian. This is your father's return. Good night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Welcome, everybody. I've been sneezing a bunch, so if I go muted, it's because I'm probably trying to trying to get the sneeze out. I don't know what's going on. How you doing? Welcome, everybody. Oh, now Tomato's here, so I can actually talk about this. There's 3 things. First of all, we're doing a call-in show. So it's going to be you talking to me about your thoughts on Defensecon, the ships of Defensecon, and the changes of Defensecon, and what this might mean long-term. Probably allergies. But it's just in this room, so I think it's because I was moving stuff around because of technical issues, and they probably got some dust out. But on top of that, I call it DrakeCon. On top of that, I have a video I just released, a capsule I just released, like breaks down all the ships of Defensecon. And then I've got a video that's going over the monthly report, which will be released on Monday. And then I have a new lore video that's going to come out this weekend, which is specifically talking about artificial intelligence in the Star Citizen lore. And then I've got another video, which I'm working on, which will release before Defensecon, I hope. Maybe not. We'll see. Probably at Defensecon. Covering the complete history of Aegis Dynamics. And then lastly, I have another video that I've been working on with my editor. It is the complete history of Star Citizen lore, but it is not the next edition in the complete history of Star Citizen lore. It is a compilation video of part 1 of chapter 1 through 5 of the complete history of Star Citizen lore into one video. But it has corrections. Like I messed up on some dates here and there and pronunciations. And it has new information that was unveiled or revealed after the first couple of episodes released. So it's sort of like a modified version. But it is the total of all 5 of those episodes crammed together. So those 5 episodes crammed together, I looked at the title at the time. It is going to be around 3 hours and 20 minutes. As of right now, it is over 100-page script. I am not even through the Tavaran War yet. There's probably going to be a total of 5 parts in that sort of chunk. I'm still going to release them in the 40-minute chapters as we go forward, but I'm going to do the chunks in terms of parts as we go forward. Also, because I know people prefer to sit down and watch them in one whole. And the final goal is to take every one of these parts and make a compilation video of all of the parts, which should be between 15 and 30 hours long. It is entirely in chronological order. That's the whole point of the complete history, is that it's a chronological order of the history of Star Citizen, of the Star Citizen universe, from the perspective of mostly humanity. We're not going to talk about the other aliens because that would be too much. That is going to take me another couple of years before I get that all fully out. Pray for my editor. Pray for my editor. I might make it into an audiobook. Yeah, that might be a good idea. But if I combined all the scripts together, I could probably punch them up here and there and like write them, like add more things, change some things around, add some more flair to it, and probably turn it into a fucking book. That's how long it is. The Xi'an history, the problem is that Xi'an history is super in depth. I could probably take the entire history of the Xi'an and put them down into, or Xi'an, and put them into a, probably like a 20-minute video if I wanted to at some point. Similar with the Banu. Well, no wonder why I feel like there's a lack of videos. That is itself a huge task. That's the reason why it takes me so long to do a complete history of Star Citizen lore series, because it is entirely in chronological order. So I am spending hours scouring through the stuff I know of to try to find dates and try to arrange things in the right order to make it make sense. And as we get closer to the modern period in Star Citizen lore, the stuff that happens in like single years can sometimes be 20 minutes long in terms of just information. Yeah, there is no, you are the guest because that's what we're doing the call-in show. I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to go get something to drink, and I'm going to get stuff set up for that call-in show. So we'll probably start at the top of the hour, but we might be a few minutes late because of that. But keep an eye out for those other 2 videos. One is going to be a shorter video. It's like 20 minutes long on the history of AI. And another one's going to be probably an hour or so long, but it's going to be the complete history of Aegis dynamics, like from its early inceptions, all of the ships that it incorporates, all the stories of all those ships together. So, and they also constantly change it. They don't change it as much as they used to, but they definitely add a lot of stuff in the background. Like, for instance, you probably didn't know this, but the Copian right now is the earliest alien creature we ever had contact with. And it's almost certain that there's an entire alien biosphere that we encountered in the Null system, in the caves of the Null system. So, like, the Copian is a cave creature. Like, that's their original. They live in the caves. They live in caves. They just live in such a harsh environment that when humans began to realize that their horns could be used for medical purposes, and they pulled the Copian out of its natural environment to other environments, the Copian didn't die. Their young didn't die as much, so they had huge litters without as many predators or threats. So they became invasive. Like, that was all added in the time period it took me between part 1 and part 5, which is like, God, 4 years, 3 years. So, all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get you set up on the other side. Hello, hello. Okay, so it is working. Just want to make sure it was working. The stage has been set, by the way. If you can't get into the stage, exclamation point Discord, just go to like the bar live and I can drag you down. All right, y'all. If you want to get a part of this call-in show, please just join us on Discord. Right now, there is a total of, I think, 2 people in the Discord right now. So you'd be number 3 in line. We've got Foshizzle and Alex. We're going to get started here in about 5 or so minutes, maybe about 10 minutes. But the topic is basically your thoughts on Defensecon, your thoughts on the ships and everything else like that. So, how this is going to work is it's each person gets about 5-10 minutes of talking time, and we usually go for about an hour. So I try to get about 6 to 7 people in. We can go a little bit further than that, and some people, not everyone has a lot of stuff to say, so it's entirely up to you. But I know a lot of folks like to come on to the chats and to the comment sections and have their own opinions on the captain's table. So yeah. Come and join us. The Discord, if you're watching this on YouTube, look at the description. It'll have the link to the Discord there. You can join. Just join on the Discord. There's Citizen Talk. So if you want to come talk, just join on Discord. If you're on Twitch, it's !Discord. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description below. And join the stage. We have a stage that's already active. If you don't see it, just join one of the audio channels, and I can drag you down. Dragged you down. You're in there now. So. Can't join, but I had a comment. CIG must be really anticipating huge orgs if they're competent enough to sell a ship as big as the Odin, or they just want money. Never underestimate the power that CIG is just desperate for cash. All right, y'all, we're gonna get started. Here's the current list for those of you who are interested. You can still join us even after we get started. It's Faux Shizzle, Alex, Escape, Citizen Talk, and then Hogitha. You want me to call you something else, especially if you're in the Discord, just put it in the chat. Tell me what name you want me to call you. I'll do my best. So that's a good 50 minutes right there, or around that. So it's somewhere between 30 and 50 minutes. If you want to join us as well and have your own thoughts on the ships of Defensecon and the event itself, feel free to hop on. I'll try to keep it to about 10 minutes per person. All right, I'm going to get started here in a few moments. Also, those of you on YouTube, I'm going to be moving you over to the Captain's Table Discord video right now. So make sure you jump over to the Captain's Table podcast channel if you don't get automatically moved, but you should be automatically moved once this ends.